I'm a little scared. I can't say that this has ever happened to me before doing a show. I am a little scared of where today might end up for a lot of reasons. Where we are in America and where we are physically, 4 blocks from where a former president is being indicted in a little bit. And there's the risk of chaos right around the corner from us, literally. So I've got an energy on me that is a little scared and negative. But on top of that, Tuesdays are already, and for 10 years, always very hard for me. I got Stugotz, his mouth hurts because he did 2 hours of dental work. He's on drugs.
Yeah.
I got Greg Cody at the end of a dinosaur run, exhausted, grateful like Jokic that it's all over. Pointing at the wrong camera because he doesn't know where he is, and he has slipped into delirium over the last 4 or 5 weeks. He is a sports columnist, a local historian. He's been doing this for 50 years at the Miami Herald. This run has nearly killed him.
It almost has.
Okay. On top of that, Dominique Foxworth had a lot of trouble.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
A lot of trouble sleeping last night because he was so bad on the show yesterday. He has decided to come back and redeem himself.
Huh.
And you got Greg Cody in there.
And he hates Greg Cody.
That's right.
Can't even
Thank
find
you.
a camera, and he's dressed like childhood sheets.
It's his
What is
day. I mean, should have been better yesterday.
You don't
right.
understand. Dominique Foxworth, an accomplished man, finds abhorrent in his soul that Greg Cody has climbed to the top of industry not knowing what he's doing. A child of privilege whose son is a child of privilege, and he is in Vegas, and I don't know what he's giving us from Vegas. He's gone to join Roy, who I also don't know what he's giving us from Vegas. And Amin Al-Hassan is around to talk about that woman in Ecuador who popped out of her coffin when people thought she was dead.
Rodney Buford's not walking through that door, Dan.
But Mike Ryan, people want Mike Ryan's tears because he has made this show insufferable with maximum heat fandom on steroids. He learned it 2010, 2004, just maximum obnoxious heat fan. And people are here today for his tears. They want quiet, arrogant, cocky guy. Don't make it about the rationalization of, well, the Celtics is all I needed. They want your hurt. They want your pain. This show's numbers have gone through the roof over the last month because of people wanting to get excited and hate what it is that you have done to this show. And I'm not going to give them the pleasure. I want you out of here before you say a word on the general penalty delayed 6 weeks of making this show and heat fandom insufferable. I don't want you to speak. I want you out. I want you out for at least an hour. Longest penalty we've ever given around here. No, I don't want to hear from you. Billy, you're in charge today. Billy, you're in charge.
What did I do?
But no, what do you mean? What did you do?
It's a punishment.
It's
I
a
mean,
promotion.
Have you seen the cats that you have around here today that I'm going to have to wrangle?
It's a promotion. What do you mean it's a punishment? Billy, you're in charge today because, no, I will not give the country the pleasure, and I will not give Mike Ryan the pleasure of annoying them again by talking about Damian Lillard and doing whatever it is he wants to do today to cover up his pain, to not give you his tears. Out before you say a word. Out. Nobody wants to hear from you. They haven't wanted to hear from you for months.
Dame with this team, though, Dan. I mean,
Dame time.
Get out of here. Billy, you're in charge.
Where is he supposed to go? You penalty box? What are we doing?
An hour-long penalty.
Wow.
An hour-long penalty. Put it in. Is the penalty box working? Billy, you got to come up here and get the video department off of Mike's headset. Just get him out of here for a while. The other problem that I have.
please leave, sir.
Am I wrong for doing this?
No. Say hello to Kachuk while you're in there. No, you're not wrong.
Where is your son? Like, why isn't he producing any content for the show?
You know what he's going to produce? A big bar tab for Meadowlark Media. That's what he's going to produce while he's out there. He's in a casino right now. He's been gambling all night. He's been drinking all night. He's an adult. He's out of my nest. I can't speak for him.
Wasn't he sent to wrangle Roy because Roy's just going to say Vegas on the power play and then come back home after running up God knows how much money in whiskey?
That's exactly right.
That's what Roy does.
Quintel Wood's not walking through that door, guys.
Greg, you don't get to just, like, pass Chris off. Like, what have you taught him? He represents you in this world. So what is the thing coming up on Father's Day, Greg? What is it, the one thing you are most proud of passing on to your son?
Dominic,
I saw you check the clock.
First of all, I know I do that by habit.
There are 7 minutes left in the segment.
You have me freaked
there are
out.
7
scarred,
minutes.
man.
You think because somebody asked you a question, because someone cared for you to comment, you immediately
That's
got
exactly
suspicious?
right. You guys have me freaked out.
We've been on the air for 4 minutes.
Well, first of all, whenever Dominique asks me a question, I always assume I'm being ambushed. My arch enemy over here.
Why is that?
I mean, Dominique hates me. He always has. He always will. Now he's trying to embarrass me with a question about my son. Christopher's a grown man. I can't help him. He speaks for himself. He's an adult.
So you don't expect any appreciation on Father's Day? Because the whole point of Father's Day is that you've done something, you've taught him something, you've raised him, you've passed something on to him. I gave you one question. In the 30-plus years of Chris's life, what's the one thing that you have taught him, the one thing you've passed on to him, other than your ghoulish good looks?
I raised him to have a good heart. How's that? You want an honest answer? He's a good-hearted man.
You've taught him nothing? He's coming after your teaching skills as a father. He's really coming after your parenting. Like, that's a deep cut.
Okay, all right. I taught him algebra. What are you talking about? I'm a good parent. That's the only thing I am is a good parent.
Yep, leave Greg alone, man.
I'm a terrible friend. I'm
taught
a terrible
him how to have
husband.
a good heart.
That's
right.
Terrible husband.
Why are you a bad husband?
I don't, you'd have to ask her. I mean, I'm a bad listener. I'm not attentive in listening and responding to things she asks me to do and blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing. So forth and so on. And you know it.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The introspection meant to keep the romance in a marriage alive. Yes, you'd have to ask her why I'm a bad husband after 50 years. That's a deep cut.
I wasn't a deep cut. It's a damn layup. Yeah. It was a layup. What have you done as a father? Coming up on Father's Day. Right. You've been a father. You have 2 kids. You've been a father for a long time. One thing I asked you to teach him, and somehow you transitioned from that to saying, I'm awful at sex.
Well, first of all, I didn't say that.
You kind of did. You were headed in that direction. We all heard it. Inattentive as we all ended up at Lover there. That's where we ended up.
Well, first of all, at my age, as I recall, that was not my problem. But don't get me wrong. I'm a good parent, okay? That's the only thing I will say is that I'm a very good parent. And Christopher and Michael would both tell you the same thing,
All right, give me one story. One time when you did a super parent thing where you just, you gave a great parent speech.
Come on.
You, showed up. You came through. Right. You sacrificed. You did something that you can look back on. Like, last night we watched Jokic get the MVP, and I can think of a bunch of great things that he did in the course of this series to earn the MVP. What have you done? One time in 30-plus years.
This is a deep cut, man.
It's not that hard.
No, listen. No, it isn't that hard. And if you'll shut up, Dominique, I'll answer your question.
Wow.
As Dan and I discussed on South Beach Sessions, one thing I did was sacrifice being in Stugotz's role in order to watch both of my sons play high school baseball and not miss any of their games and broadcast their games.
Thank you.
And that was something that that was never a sacrifice to me because I wanted to be that much a part of their childhood.
You got checkmated, Harvard man.
It wasn't a checkmate. I'm happy for him. This was an olive branch. I was trying to set him up with an easy question, and he smoked the layup.
I have seen him. Look at him. Look at him. He right now is filled with defiant pride. How dare you, Dominique, or anyone, question what kind of father Greg Cody is. He's the father of a son who figured out how to bilk a company for a bar tab in Vegas while not doing actual work.
Damn right.
Taught him the grift.
Boy.
Taught him the grift.
Yes. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, you're trying to shame him. It's not working, Dan.
It ain't working.
He's proud of this.
Thank you, Billy.
Wayne Ellington ain't walking through that door.
I heard that our penalty box is not functional today.
The man with the golden arm.
All right, let's combine two things here then. Let's combine. I've been wanting to get somebody out near the fringes of whatever it is that's happening.
Don't do this, Dan. I know where you're going with this. Don't do this, please.
Well, no, I've been asking for a volunteer for the last 2 days. I've been asking for somebody. Dominique, we're supposed to be a journalism outfit, allegedly.
We are?
We've got a couple of blocks from here, pretty seismic international and national news happening right next door, and we're going to hide indoors?
It's a dangerous game. You've been asking people for 2 days. Take a hint. I mean, no one wants to go out there.
Yeah, well, I'm going to stop asking. I'm going to stop requesting volunteers, and Mike Ryan, go out there and find us some news, get us some content. Your penalty for ruining the show. Ruining the show for how long? 6 weeks? 8 weeks?
Well, he didn't even say anything today.
No, but I'm punishing him. This is like a lifetime ban. It's sort of.
Well, it may be.
It's like a body of work
how
thing.
Today goes.
Body of work suspension.
Well, unfortunately, we need him around here. We just don't need him today because look at this cluster bleep we've got in here.
Dwayne Coswell ain't walking through that door.
Stugotz has needed mouth work.
Yeah.
For so long. His voice has deteriorated. He's finally gotten it. He's on sedatives. He looks like he hasn't bathed in a month.
Well, thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. You want to send me out there? I mean, I'd fit in perfectly.
Scott Hastings ain't walking through that door.
Mike, well, you know what? There's so many dumb Cubans here. So many that Mike will fit
in this room, or
yeah, just in general. Here, what surrounds this courthouse, everything that surrounds this courthouse. He did a Spanish language radio interview yesterday because it's the only people will accept him because we've been doing it for 20 years down here. The evil of Spanish radio that birthed Rush Limbaugh. 2 blocks from here.
Rush Limbaugh started on Spanish radio?
Rush is Cuban?
The sentiment.
Ike Austin walked through that door?
Greg Cody, is it a bad idea to send Mike Ryan out there to give us a live report? Right now we're at the center of like what feels like, again, the shaking of democracy.
Yes. I would have him investigate that, cover it, report fully. If necessary, I would have him make news. It's not enough to observe the news. He's in a position to make news and become the story.
That's not journalism. Why are you advocating that? That's a terrible thing to teach.
It'd be good for the show.
So you're not worried about Mike at all? Like, I ask you this. Would you send your own son, Chris Cody, out there?
Oh, hell no.
This is a new and improved Dan Le Batard Show
I'm
with
a
the
good
Stugotz.
dad.
Gamble
That's
on
why.
by DraftKings.
And you know it.
Men, we are doing a show right now. You guys are over here making jokes about how well Stugotz would just walk into everything that's happening around us, and people would be like, huh?
Yeah.
Stugotz, you're one of us. You were
I shouldn't be laughing.
hiding in plain sight. We should send Stugotz out there with Mike Ryan to make sure, because as we joke and stuff, I want somebody out there for real and for sure.
I think Mike will be safe. His hair. I think the way he's cut his hair now.
Yeah, he's got a mullet.
It like
The
suggests.
mullet, right.
Don't worry, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
All right. So, but I am worried about this. Dominique, you've heard the conversations around here for 2 days where I'm like, well, we should cover it. Like, it's not irrelevant that this is happening over here. We're not a show that's like completely detached from America in the sports playpen. Like, the stuff that's happening over here has been uncomfortably close for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Somebody should be there covering it, but I don't know what the coverage is you're gonna do, because I think Mike's just gonna ask them sports questions, and we're gonna laugh at it. So like, we don't have the journalistic capability or background, I think, to ask the type of questions that you want to ask, and all we can do is really make jokes.
Yeah, Mike's kind of just hanging out here, so I don't know that he knows that he's going. We told him, he's like, nah.
No, he has to go.
Well, I don't think that he's down for that. He was just kind of like, nah.
Derek Anderson's not walking through that door.
I don't want him interacting with people. I don't want him mingling. I just want him reporting from the fringes of the chaos for America.
Painting the scene.
Doing on-scene reporting. He doesn't need... Like, you guys are scaring me about the idea of doing this silly little thing that barely passes as journalism because it's going to get too close to what we fear, reasonably, if you're receiving yet another news from Denver where mass shootings are a legitimate problem and are less and less random and are more of a problem here in the United States than they are anywhere in the world. There's been the promise of violence 4 blocks away. So I'm legitimately scared. Like, I'm not joking with you when I tell you I'm legitimately scared in a way, right near the Freedom Tower here, that I've never been when I'm in this city. I love this city. I've always felt safe in what's been known as a violent city.
So some people like sign up for like war zone correspondence, and some people want to talk about sports and make poop jokes.
He's right about that.
Mm-hmm.
PJ Brown ain't walking through that door.
Tell Mike Ryan. Bill, you're in charge now. You saw how that went at the beginning of this segment where no one knew they were on air, and Stugotz off mic was just saying, I'm with the Proud Boys. I look like I'm with the Proud Boys. And that's how this segment started.
I don't think my mic was on, but thank you for revealing that. I appreciate
okay,
it.
well,
that was off.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, but it was part of the conversation we were having of you fitting in over there just physically. That if you came over there, if you and Cody went over there, you would absolutely pass as people who are down with MAGA.
Wait, time out. Why are you including me in that?
Greg,
your
Greg,
shirt,
Greg.
just
like
your
shirt.
shirt.
No,
Just your shirt.
it's not just your shirt. You look like you want your country back.
Luke Babbitt ain't walking through that door.
Poor Greg.
He just comes here, tries to be a good dad.
Yeah.
Bad husband, but good dad.
Thank you, Billy.
Bad lover, but good dad.
Well, here's the problem.
As he recalls.
Here's the problem. A man cannot, you can't admit to being a bad husband without it going there where you don't intend it to go. I just meant I'm not a good listener. She's always getting frustrated with me for things I don't do around the house and things.
Hold
I
on,
forget to
Greg.
do.
Hold on, Greg. I think this is evidence that you might be a phenomenal lover. Because it sounds like you suck at everything else. So she must be sticking around for that thing, Greg. You put that thing on her?
Hello.
Greg putting that thing on her.
Been married a long time. Let's
yeah,
put it that way. Hello, baby.
Knock it out the park.
Damn right.
Eddie House
How am I more uncomfortable than I was 2 minutes ago?
Baby. Boom, chicka, bump, bump.
We got a new one.
Bump.
Add it to the list of Greg noises and sounds and slogans. Bounce, chicka, bounce, bounce.
Bruce Bowen ain't walking through that door.
Is that 60s porn music?
Yes.
Is that...
Bump,
is.
chicka, bump, bump.
It's the last time.
When porn was porn, baby.
When porn was porn. That's exactly right.
Billy, you're in charge. Have you sent Mike out there?
We got a new Back in My Day. I demand it. I don't know if it's coming next week,
Back
the
in
week
My Day
after,
porn.
or a month from now.
Yes.
I want
Yes.
that. And it's going to have to
Yeah.
do with grooming, I believe. A lot of it will have to do with grooming.
Oh, wow. Let's not go down there. What? No, that's a good idea, Dominique. Thank you.
Carlos Arroyo now walking through that door.
Be careful.
Are you sure you want him out there covering this?
I'm not sure. I think I'm articulating what is pretty profoundly the sound of unsure. No, I'm not sure.
I'm doing everything in my power to convince you this was a bad idea by just letting everybody kind of roam free here.
Okay, but I want a report. I want some reports from the fringes of the chaos. I want to be able to have control of my company. I don't think it's unreasonable.
It's too late
to ask for volunteers for something, and I think this is my first act of like, no, somebody needs to do this. Like, I'll go do it, and then everyone yells, "Well, no, you can't do it," as a famous liberal, because you'll immediately get dragged. You're going to end up with truck testicles in your mouth driving down Flagler. Like, no, it's going to be very bad for you. You can't do that. So you've got to protect me, but somebody's got to do it. And now I feel, Dom, you navigate complicated business issues for people as like you have business expertise. What would you be advising me right now?
The risk is not worth the reward because we are not a real sophisticated political journalism outlet. However, it'd be funny as hell, so do it.
Rory Sparrow's now walking through that door.
Billy, do you have a lot happening in your
head?
In your head and then your headset as well? Because you now I don't know that you've been in charge of video and everything. And Chris Cody's in Vegas, and we can't find him. And we've got guests coming up, and we can't find Roy. And it would be good to ask Chris Cody what he's doing in Vegas because there's a pretty important hockey game.
Yeah, why is everybody not here today? Where is everybody?
Well, two people are in Vegas.
Yeah, doing what?
Greg. What is your son doing in Vegas, other than running up a Meadowlark expense account?
That's about it, as far as I can tell.
I think John Reed went with them, too. So.
Did he?
I mean, the game's tonight. I mean, what's he supposed to be doing?
Right, exactly.
Well, but how about some coverage from Vegas right now?
Well, he's asleep. It's early.
Well, but
I mean, let the man sleep.
I mean,
Time
it's
zone,
6:20.
But he's got a job.
He's got a 5-year-old. She runs him ragged.
Chris Quinn's now walking through that door.
The 5-year-old's not with him right now. Does his wife? Does anyone in the Cody family understand? Grandfather, grandmother, anyone understand what Chris Cody is presently doing in Vegas? There's an important game tonight. He's there on the expense account. Where's our content?
Right. He's prepping for the game. He's buried in notes. He's reviewing film. You know, he's in the hospital with Kachuk. Not that Kachuk is hospitalized, but
well, what are they? Are they visiting?
clarification,
Are they eating? What are they doing there?
I don't know. I mean, isn't it like 7:30 there? I don't know what time it is there. Is it a 2-hour or 3-hour time difference? I can never get that straight.
What day is it?
What day is the game?
Never mind.
What day is today?
Wednesday.
I think that Chris is going. I think Chris is going. By the way, Dan, I don't want to agitate you or make you more upset. I think Chris is strictly going as a fan.
I thought so too.
So I don't think that there's going to be any coverage coming out of this from Chris. I think he's just going to watch the game.
So it's up to Roy.
Right.
And John.
Okay.
Well, I'm just learning John Reed is there. And
Siempre está metido John Reed.
I am infuriated right now.
Well, someone has to get them under control.
How did John Reed get here 10 minutes ago, and he gets to make all the trips?
Well, someone has to video whatever they're doing.
Okay, but can we get somebody who's not wearing a Panthers jersey and not getting kicked out of press boxes all over the country that embarrass us?
I was told that was misreported. I was told that happened after the game. That during the game he was not, but somehow after the game he was.
Do you realize our Panther coverage? Our Panther coverage, I'm pretty sure, has Stugotz not on drugs. Well,
right.
Stugotz
we got it.
With Chris Cody getting reprimanded in a working press box by Tim Reynolds because they were being so loud, jubilant while people were working.
Yeah.
And Billy just informs me that John Reed, he didn't do it during the game, Dan. Nothing to worry about. He got kicked out afterward because he was wearing a Panther jersey in an objective press box.
Well, the job was done at that point, you know?
Hey, Dan, you ever, disappointed in yourself? Because you do a lot of complaining about how people aren't producing and aren't giving you this. Somebody won't go and get in the mix with the Proud Boys. Other people go to games and don't give you anything. They go and fly places and don't come back. You're the dad around here. Father's Day is coming up, and I asked Greg what's he doing. you ain't doing nothing but coddling these people.
Well, this is a different subject. For those of you who don't know, this
Not
goes back
helpful.
a ways. The one employee we couldn't get was Dominique Foxworth because he was willing and wanted to fire everybody who worked here.
Yeah.
Because
Stugotz not walking through that
because
door.
he's tired
G.
of me letting everyone do what they want, and then there are no rules, and everybody's got a company where they're just going to Vegas to drink.
On your dime.
I mean, it's mostly just tired of you complaining about it. It is what it is. You got what you got. Do something about it, or you get used to it. And I think that in my pushback, I listened to David Sampson talk about how things need to change. There's a culture.
What are you pointing at, Billy?
Mike seems to be there in front of the courthouse
That
now.
seems to be
That is not. Come
Not
on,
the weather
man.
outside.
Are you
It's
kidding me?
nice out today, huh?
Are you
him.
kidding
Skies.
me?
Gorgeous, yeah.
This is
The crowds seem to have been
ridiculous.
overstated. It doesn't look like there's anybody
Come on,
there.
man. Who are you trying to fool that way?
Oh, the building just moved.
That
weird.
is not okay. If you're listening just on audio, this seems fake. Frankie's costing me $1,000 a day over there as
What'd
security.
you pay for those flights, I wonder? Well, I guess they don't have to fly. It's right down the street.
That is not a live report from anything other than a green screen. You're fooling no one. Out to the streets.
That looks real to me.
Out to the streets. People are tuning in. They want to hear Mike Ryan's pain today. They do. And he's got a microphone.
Oh, there's it. Oh, wait a minute.
But the microphone doesn't work. Oh, you've got a microphone? No.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God! What
The
happened
sun
to
went down, it seems.
Midnight.
That took a turn.
Midnight in Miami.
an eclipse.
I'm pretty sure that was Mike Ryan just yelling at the video room. You guys got to cut the lights. What are we doing? What are we doing? How many people am I paying? I saw something, Stugotz, that was in your wheelhouse. We've been talking about Netflix coming out with FUBAR.
Yep.
The R in FUBAR is for Arnold.
Mm-hmm. Terrible. I mean, the first episode was decent. You have to wait 45 minutes to get to the R.
That's not true.
Yeah, it wasn't good. What do you mean?
Did you finish it or no?
No.
Dude, he vertically slit someone's throat like within the first 8 minutes. He reinvented a way to slit people's throats more efficiently, vertically.
Too much acting by Arnold. Too much acting. It took 45 minutes to get to the R in FUBAR. And I don't care about his family. I don't care if he ever gets his wife back. I want to see Arnold kill people.
But
and that's it.
He's 70 now.
Yeah.
That's the thing is you need to, and I don't want to, have this be like a conversation about mortality and you getting old, but you need to kind of move on to the young guns, the young bucks, the young killers. It's not Arnold anymore.
Who is it?
I mean, Statham's up there. He's pretty good.
The young bucks.
He's like 52.
He's 52. Yeah, but that's fine. I mean, you're not going to get a 20-year-old doing it, right? You have to have some sort of, build up. So he's in his 50s, and he'll be good for the next 10 years. He'll be fine.
Eric Murdoch's not walking through that door.
I'm just saying, I don't want to see Arnold act, okay? He's not a good actor. And I don't want to see Stallone act. What I want to see them do is kill people. That's what they're good at, killing lots of people. Get to the action scenes. I don't care about side stories. I don't care about an attempt to get your wife back. I care about seeing Arnold kill everyone. That's it.
You know who we haven't seen kind of in that role is The Rock. He's like an action hero, but not a killer. He's usually the good guy. He was the bad guy, I think, in Get Smart, but he wasn't like a killer. He was just kind of like a fool. By the way, The Rock, not that we're talking about this, but he's been catching some L's lately. Canceled the Young Rock. The XFL lost $60 million.
Jamal Mashburn not walking through that door.
Maybe starting to make sense why it is that he returned to the Fast and Furious in a surprise cameo in the last movie, because it's these are things aren't really walking on. Even though Terramana, his alcohol band, I think, is doing just fine.
Billy, are you worried about The Rock's financial state? Is that what we're talking about here? I think he's okay.
I don't know. Because sometimes you take on too much, you wear yourself thin, you hit a wall, and then poof.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Marley's not walking through that door.
Stick to what you're good at.
All of our action stars are in their 50s or older. And the thing that I wanted to get to with you, because it's not just FUBAR, the trailer, not the first trailer, the second trailer. You have to find it. I'm telling you, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen, because the R is for Arnold. And he's in his 70s. But Stallone, in an Arnold documentary that is 3 parts long on Netflix, and he's had a fascinating life. Fascinating. I'm actually interested in the documentary. Stallone says, and they've had a rivalry for a long time, who's more of an action star? Stallone says for the first time that Schwarzenegger was the superior action star. He puts down his sword. Rambo puts down his sword at the feet of the Terminator. I've never heard it before, and now they're friends, and it's the only way they can be friends, because Arnold forgives him as long as he knows that he is not the superior one.
FUBAR, he's murdering someone 7 minutes in. I just watched it.
Yeah, but
spoiler alert.
Yeah, I know, but there's too much. After you get through that, there's 35 minutes of him, the family, Arnold trying to act, Arnold trying to be funny. I'm not here for that. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to see that. Too much acting.
The point is you build up some personal feelings and emotional connection, and then it makes the murdering mean more.
No, the point is someone does something awful to Arnold's family, and he kills everyone.
So you want to watch a highlight video. You don't want to watch the whole game. You
of
just
course.
Want to watch, you want to watch the 6-minute
greatest hits. Yes.
I mean, the last 20 minutes of the last episode, you'll get what you want.
No, I know. I got through the first episode. I thought it was going to be good. Get to the second episode, the third episode. The killing stops.
I'm saying the last episode, the last 20 minutes, you will get what you want.
I'll never see it.
Steve Smith not walking through that door.
I rewatched Terminator because I had never seen it.
Well, then you didn't rewatch it.
You know what I mean. I watched it for the first time. Yeah, I watched it for the first time.
No, wait,
I was
happened
rewatching
Tony,
it.
on your
Tony,
list,
what happened? Tony?
I got stuck, Dan.
Steve Smith was on my flight, by the way.
Billy, you are not helpful, okay?
He
Billy,
wasn't. I was trying to make a point.
Just stop for a second, Tony, because there's a lot going on here. A lot of things happening. Again, I've got a dentist, drug-riddled Stugotz. I've got the general Cody, Greg Cody. You haven't heard from him this segment. I haven't heard a word from him yet. He's been doing nothing but nodding.
I got a lot to say.
Billy's in charge, and there's a lot buzzing in his ears right now, and he wants to talk Schwarzenegger. But he'll take time out of his busy schedule to undercut Tony.
I'm not undercutting him. I'm trying to help him.
Okay. No, you weren't trying to help him. The point is, because there are very small windows around here, and Tony's not trying to interrupt what everybody's doing. Tony, what you just did to him when he said, I rewatched something I never initially watched, you seizing on that with the piranha fervor that you did undercut his confidence when he hasn't been heard from very much around here for 3 segments either, because he's trying to find his way as one of these dumb Cubans that surround us in the Freedom Tower, as this whole show does killing, forgetting what's right outside these doors and what just happened in Denver. And we're talking about, I want more Schwarzenegger, because that's the show we are.
Tony Douglas not walking through that door.
I'm sorry he undercut you. The floor is yours, Tony.
What I was going to say was, an unpopular opinion probably, I watched The Terminator, and I had to turn it off because it was so bad. I was watching, I was like, oh, you guys like this? This is terrible.
I mean, it was the beginning of CG, right? So you aren't appreciating.
CGI, fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. $5.
Okay, fair
He's
enough.
always there for you.
Yes, thank you, Billy. Thank you for taking time out of your busy Billy schedule. That's right. CGI was just starting back then.
Arnold didn't really say anything. He just went around like
that's
shooting
what Stugotz
people.
wants. That's
Right,
what Stugotz.
yeah.
In fact, that's what Stallone.
Why it's great.
That's why Stallone said Schwarzenegger was the superior star, because he says he didn't have to actually act. He did it all with his body.
I think Stallone is just being nice. It's a doc about Arnold, and Stallone is just being gracious and nice in that moment. Stallone knows he's the better action hero. He does. I mean, Tango and Cash, Cobra, John Cobretti, all the Rockies, First Blood, everything he's done, give me a break. He knows that he's the greatest of all time, but in that environment, in that ecosystem, he gives it to Arnie. I mean,
Matt Geiger's not walking through that door.
Better action star, Juju. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Schwarzenegger or Stallone. Do you have an opinion on this, Greg Cody, as our resident movie person who knows nothing about movies?
Nothing.
And has no opinions whatsoever. He's looking at the clock again, even though we are 5 minutes out.
That kind
Everything.
of thing. Right. Listen.
Everything around here is moving too fast for him.
All right,
okay?
2 comments were made that I need to follow up on. Number 1, all you need is highlights. For example, Game of Thrones, show me the dragon scenes. All I need to see. Number 2, Billy made a comment earlier that just flew right over everyone's head with no follow-up, and the follow-up needs to be asked, why is vertical more efficient than horizontal on the throat slit?
It's a great question. You know, I'm going to rewatch Fubar, and I'll tell you, because they just told us it was more efficient, and I took it for granted.
I doubt it.
It's obvious. Like, it's just you open it up more surface area. The same reason why vertical wrist slitting is more efficient. So, like, if you cut across, you're just, like, that's the only surface area you open up, like 3 inches.
I know,
you
but
cut all the way down, you can get a full 6 inches of open, and it's harder to repair, harder to cover.
Okay.
It's a lot more efficient.
Here's the thing. The windpipe is vertical, right? So if you're making a vertical slit, you need to hit the windpipe directly. If you're an inch to the left or the right, you don't even hit it.
Right.
And it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
If you cut it horizontally,
Makes it more
you're
impressive,
guaranteed
though. Right.
to hit the windpipe.
For you, horizontal's the move. You're not an experienced killer. Yeah. Arnie, vertical that thing.
Okay.
The thing, though, is, and
He's
I don't
trying
want
to reinvent the wheel.
I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, Dan.
Stick to what works.
That's right.
Are you going to watch Fubar, Dan?
I've had enough with the trailer. The trailer, they can't do better than that. They just put it in a cube. They allowed me to eat they allowed me to eat the entire series.
It's the highlight package.
I mean, it's just like, and it ends with, and the R in Fubar, which is effed up beyond all recognition. The A is for abs. The A is for abs.
Yeah.
He's 70 plus. The R is for Arnold. Arnold. And it's growled. And then something explodes behind him in a dumpster. Come on.
I don't like trailers for shows or movies that I'm going to watch. Because, like, a lot of times, I mean, I'll see it once, but if I see it too many times, like, I know what happens in this movie. Like, I can sometimes maybe watch a trailer and then watch the movie, like, 3 months later.
You don't like
'cause I'll
bad
remember.
trailers.
No, I don't like trailers that tell me too much of what's going to happen, because then I'm not surprised.
Trailers
you know?
for sale or rent.
That's right.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Bimbo Cole's not walking through that door.
What is the name Fubar? Can somebody explain that
I
to
just
me?
said effed up beyond all recognition.
Okay.
I
all
just
right. I didn't know that.
It's moving too fast. He's not listening to what's happening around here.
When did you say that?
60 seconds ago.
Are you sure?
Samaki Walker's not walking through that door?
What am I going to do with you, Greg? I'm supposed to have your expertise at a pretty big time in South Florida sports, and you haven't spoken
on
for a long time.
On Fubar. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous name for a movie. Is that the name of the movie or just the character? I'm not into movies. They're coming out with an action film based on a construction site called Rebar, by the way. But seriously, what is that the name?
But seriously,
is that the name
his
of the
transition
movie, or?
Over here? Shecky Green working in the Catskills in the 50s.
The Catskills.
The Borscht Belt. The Borscht Belt.
You okay?
He's right about that, yeah.
Shannon Brown's not walking through that door.
Hurts to laugh, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, the geography.
Grant Long's not walking through that door.
But seriously, he's been working that. He's been workshopping that rebar joke for 7 minutes of goddamn silence as his son steals money from the company.
It landed, Dan.
It did land.
Where?
That it landed only because you're in charge, which I regretted as soon as Mike left the room, and not because we're going to get him killed.
Splash.
Mike Ryan is out there. I see some video. There's no one out there. There's just a lot of barricading and Mike Ryan with security, but not a single human being is out there. Did he go to the courthouse or did he go in the other direction?
Looks like Bayside. I think he's by the stadium.
Zoran Dragic is not walking through that door.
We're risking people covering this thinking that like your show is the one that's behind this protest because it seems like we're the only ones out there right now.
Can Mike hear me? Is Mike functioning now? Because normally we would go to break here, and we should probably do that.
Because an egomaniac has made dangerous claims for far too long.
Hold on a second, Mike.
And
Greg,
jeopardized everyone.
Do you have a question for Mike?
About the Kaseya Center, where in Game 3 of the NBA Finals, Tony Brothers rigged the game and changed the trajectory of NBA history. This is the story that everybody should be talking about. Right here. The site of corruption.
We'll check back in with him.
Dominique, you know what it's like to win at the highest levels of professional sports, to win at life, to win at competition. You have been urging me to run a tighter ship around here. A tighter ship around here. Mike Ryan has been out of control for months now, just screaming. The analysis that this show had after one of the NBA games was just rigged. That was the analysis. He's been unhinged. He's been manic. There's too much going on at Meadowlark Media. He doesn't respect the rules, and now he's been kicked out, and his punishment was supposed to be, penalty box was supposed to be, go cover the indictment, but he was just at the Heat's arena doing whatever he wants to do with the camera crew because he's not actually doing the punishment that he's supposed to be serving.
It's you, Dan. Like, I think you have to understand the point I was trying to make to you many years ago when I told you I couldn't work for you because I would fire everyone is you want what we all want. You want to have your cake and eat it too. And I think that the fact of the matter is you run a culture around here that is kind of loose and lackadaisical, which leads to a fun, loose, lackadaisical show. But if you want a tight ship culture, that's going to permeate the show also. I don't know that that's the show that you want. So you kind of got to take the good with the bad. So like Greg Cody's lovely wife, she wants a guy who can throw down in the bedroom. But you know what comes with that? Kind of guy who doesn't really listen that much. So you get what you get and you don't get upset. If she wanted a guy who listened a bunch, then she have a lot less fun at night after 6:30 p.m.
John Sally's not walking through that door.
He has referred to them before as nocturnal meanderings. This was 25 years ago, and I said to him, people do have sex during the day, and it seemed like a revelation to him. Like it's something he hadn't considered.
Whoa. That man is a prime-time player. You think he's doing matinee sex? He ain't fooling with no matinee sex.
You have him staying up past 6:30?
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Is Greg Cody doing matinee sex?
I'll go one further. One of my two kids, and I won't say which one, was conceived in the morning time. How about that?
Wow.
It's not one further. It's just daytime.
I know. I used to be a morning man.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Sean Marion's not walking through that door.
Matrix.
The best part of waking up.
Enough.
Greg Cody in your cup.
Oh, thank you, Dominique. That's great. I tell you, I'm warming up to Dominique. He's not that bad.
The Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody is something you can get wherever it is that you get your podcasts. He has all your local coverage. All of his son's actual work goes there because
I do pay him handsomely.
Chris Gatling's not walking through that door.
Well, not handsomely, but I do pay him.
Occasionally.
No, I pay him every week. Mm-hmm. Actually, every month, but per episode type thing.
He did mention that he's going on a cruise that's on your dime, so that's payment.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true. There's a long story behind who's paying for that cruise, but that's for another time.
Yeah, it could be for now.
You okay?
$5.
I know. I left my wallet at home, but
Wow, that's unfortunate.
I don't have any money.
It's too bad.
That thing.
Yeah.
I do this show for free. Mm-hmm. Start paying me. I'll have the $5 up there.
He's paying for a cruise. I mean, it's a whole thing.
I'm paying for a whole cruise. So
are you going on the cruise? Or?
Yeah. It's an Alaskan cruise. We've done 2 prior. This will be our 3rd, and we love Alaska. We're getting it while the icebergs are still there before global warming kills everything. So it's great.
Darrell Wright's not walking through that door.
Can I be a guest on the Greg Cody Show?
I would love that, Dominique.
Can we do a home and home? You want to come on my podcast too?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I am making amends with all my enemies. That's one thing I'm doing late in life. I am making amends. Zaslow and I shook hands Sunday in an event.
I didn't like that, Greg. You need to keep that beef alive.
Yeah.
I saw that picture and I was like, Greg folded.
He's making amends, though.
No.
We can re-beef. The re-beef is sometimes better than the original beef.
The re-beef button?
Yeah. That's what I find, anyway.
LaFonso Ellis isn't walking through that door. Oof.
Jesus, $5.
Wow, the Fonz.
I mean, honest to God. This is the chaos that I have I mean, all right. Stugotz is on some sort of laughing gas from as he has been for 20 years. It's a Meadowlark expense. Greg Cody.
I haven't thought about that
Greg
yet,
Cody
actually.
is totally delirious, crazed, He's looking at the clock. We're 4 minutes into the segment. He doesn't know where he is.
Look,
no,
there's a lot going on here.
We've got a few blocks from here. I am told Mike Ryan has landed. However, I've also been told our camera doesn't work. Our audio works, but our camera doesn't work. And in typical Meadowlark style, I don't know if the camera is off because they've turned it off for a second so as not to distract me the way it distracted me last segment. Billy's in charge, but that can come with a bit of peril because there's a lot going on around here, including Amin had one job this hour, and couldn't do it without Flip.
Mark Blunt's not walking through that door.
Billy, are you in control of things? Give me your level of confidence that we can go to wherever Mike Ryan is and just go to him and get a report. There are a lot of news trucks there, but not a lot of people. A ton of news trucks. That might be the safest place on earth if there's going to be a monster amount of security there. What's happening here?
Well, okay, so the camera is on now. The camera has been off.
I'm not going to him until the audio and video is right. Like, I am not doing this.
That's the issue, is that they keep muting themselves, and then they just start talking.
All right, well, turn it down, turn it off, get it out of here until it works. Okay? Like, honest to God. It's not that hard. It's not. It's not that hard to just get audio and video from somebody walking around. I don't need 17 employees and everybody talking into phones and no audio and no video.
Rasul Butler's not walking through that door. Rest in power.
Dom, are you sure you can't come down here and help me fix this? Because it's an ever-living mess every day. Billy's just yelling at somebody on the phone right now. It's the video department. I'm paying security to walk with Mike Ryan, who I can't hear and get a report from.
Frankie has an umbrella.
Is it a parasol? Does he have a security parasol? Is Meadowlark paying for that as well?
He does have an umbrella.
As an added bonus, the video is also grainy. It's like the 1900s, early 1900s original video capacity.
Is it, Greg?
Kurt Thomas not walking through that door.
It's an umbrella weapon, like the Penguin in the original Batman on TV.
Yeah,
yeah, they're going to federal agents are now confiscating Mike Ryan.
Is her brain on delay?
Wow. Isn't it always?
Billy, please give me some sort of update here that can salvage what is happening around here.
I'm told that they can now hear you, and they're waiting for you to prompt them to go. So if you want to go get a report, they can hear you.
I don't trust this video. I'm not doing this now. Okay, it's frozen and going to be choppy, and I am simply not going to do this in a way that's totally incompetent. Because when incompetence is the joke that you have and the only one you have, you're not funny. You're just bleeping incompetent.
Hey,
I trust this.
I'm not doing it. No, I am not doing it. I'm about to kick you out.
I need to know why Frankie has an umbrella. I mean, I'm begging you.
Yeah, I'd like to know, except I don't trust the audio or the video from our report blocks away. I'm not doing it. You guys can keep staring at the camera. I will do it next segment. I am not doing it now. Turn it off. Shut them down. I am not going to do it now.
Hey, Greg, where'd you get that shirt from?
I don't know, Dominique. I've had it years.
Who bought it for you?
I think my wife probably did.
Yeah, revenge.
It might have been a Christmas gift. I get a lot of my clothing in and around Christmas. Pants.
You get a lot of your clothing once a year?
Yeah. I'm not a clothes buyer.
Ricky Davis.
I wear shirts for decades. Oh man. I just stepped on it.
Yeah, you really did, because I've asked you 17 times during the first hour to please pay attention to Amin. It's the only thing I've told you. I've said, don't look at me, just look at Amin.
It's the first time. I'm
That's not the first time you've stepped on him.
First time.
Maybe Amin stepped on you.
First time, not a charm. Amin, what was that name again?
It was Ricky Davis. He's not walking through that door.
Damn right he isn't.
Take a swig. Yeah, you earned it. No, you earned it.
Take
a good swig. You earned it.
It's not a reward.
You earned it. Take a vigorous swig.
No, I refuse. I'm going to take a casual swig.
He's having an hour. I mean,
Deion Waiter's not walking through that door.
Shunkular!
Marcus Banks not walking through that door.
Shunkular!
You're out of them?
No. Trying not to laugh.
The umbrella.
Glenn Rice not walking through that door.
Shockiller.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Modern day penguin.
Sherman Douglas is not walking through that door. Are we still on?
Sherm. We should go out to Mike, I feel like.
Dexter Pittman's not walking through that door.
Shockiller.
Hey, Greg, what's your go-to move?
Wow. In what sense?
Come on.
Don't be coy.
Don't be coy.
In the mornings, yeah.
I'm not.
From what you recall.
From what I recall, no, we're not going there. Boom, chicka, bump, bump. Thump, thump.
I was trying to get better. I'm trying to learn. I want to add to my repertoire. I mean,
what did you just put at the end of the porn? Did you just put like a rim shot,
Yeah,
or was
like-
that a
yeah.
loose-
Oh, hey, I'm walking here.
was
rim shot.
it a loser game show sound?
Bump, chicka, bump, 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 bump. It's just like a.
I believe it's called shaving a haircut.
Yes, I'm like, yes, exactly. Bump, chicka, bump, 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 bump.
Splash.
So you have, just to be clear, you have porn bouncing and morphing into shave and a haircut, 2 bits.
2 bits, shave and a haircut, 2 bits. My dad used to always sing that. That and Chattanooga Choo Choo.
How old is that song?
Those were his 2 songs.
Back when people paid for things with 2 bits.
That's right. Trailer for sale or rent. That's exactly right.
This is the new and unimproved Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.